Welcome, Gemini, to your love reading for the weekend of the 14th and 15th for 2019 of December. And this is Psychicloveheals. And we're going to look into what's going on with you and maybe someone that you're dealing with. This is a love reading. So the Page of Swords and the Three of Cups is coming out for you. And this is the overall energy. So first of all, everything, as I'm looking at it, the message that came to me, it's almost like a deciding to have a good time, even though you have a lot of questions or you have a lot of doubt when it comes to someone that you want to be around, be closer to, or get to know. You may be even with this person, but it seems that there is some disconnect there between you. So as you party and as you're around someone, you might even feel that this person is keeping an eye, a watchful eye on you, and vice versa. And it's almost like observing your circumstances or just being someone who's trying to figure out somebody before you speak to them. And say, for instance, if someone else has opened up to you, you're trying to see if they're going to live up to their words or your expectations, and vice versa. I'm trying to see how that can be balanced, I feel. And so look out for, parties and, yep, my fault. Look out for parties and invitations where you are around your potential love interest, or even if you're around other people and you're just trying to figure out, hey, is this a good time to speak or not, or should I? Because the person that you're dealing with, I feel that that person is either still coping with some things from the past, and even with you, they may have some issues where they're trying to move on from somebody, but every time they think about certain things, it causes them to flip out. Sometimes also dealing with someone who has drinking issues, who has some emotional baggage that they, lean on certain vices that kind of help them out or to deal with things and cope with things, but it doesn't help with the relationship or connection. It doesn't matter if they smoke, drink, eat, whatever it might be. It could be a sexual kind of thing that they dive into that helps them out, but in the long term, it breaks down the relationship and connection. So I feel a lot of you have made certain decisions for yourself, but you still feel that there's a resistance, like you don't trust yourself to say if you moved on from somebody or you decided to step away from them. You're still figuring out, hey, did I do the right thing? Is this person playing games with me? Did I make the right choice to, put things on hold, or did I make the right choice to allow this relationship to go? Sometimes it's, did I make the right choice to be patient with this connection to see how things may go? I feel here is when we have the courage to communicate or express how we might be feeling, regardless of how you feel the other person is going to respond, that helps us to alleviate the baggage that we might be holding on to. If you are not going to express what you want or how you might be feeling, even if you are afraid that the other person is going to just leave, you shouldn't have that fear anyway, right? If you're meant to be with somebody, if it's going to be a healthy connection, they'll hear you out. It's not going to always be smooth, but the other person will adapt if they really want the connection to work. It's two people, two different people, personality, and the way that they do things. But there can also be some kind of compromise, but don't compromise with things that are disrespectful, being slighted, imbalances. If you keep giving into those kind of things and cycles will continue in your life until you learn to break away from it. And sometimes if you have expressed this to another person or people that may affect your relationship in some way, they may still be dealing with that energy and having to face that, and they have to accept it. It's not your job to placate them, like, oh, I didn't mean it that way, or I didn't. Sometimes you have to say what you mean. Yes, we can express, hey, I didn't mean it in a way of being harsh to you, but sometimes we have to give off tough love and say things without having the emotional attachment to it, so they understand that we're serious about what we feel or how we feel about something, and we want changes to happen. talking to other people, still dealing with someone from the past. If you don't have closure with someone from your past, don't start up a new relationship. Let the other person know about these things. Don't keep them in the dark, and don't feel like you can't clear out energies and focus on yourself right now, because it's I get a sense of almost wanting to be with the connection, even though you know that the other person might not be ready, or you're not ready completely to move on. So you might cling on to this person. So until that energy is dealt with and accepted, it might be very intense. But overall, I feel there is an energy of sometimes you might be around other people, and a little conversation or some communication where if there is a new love interest, there's things about what's going on, conversations that are not very intellectual right now, which could be frustrating to you. But if it's mild, or it's either mild or it's none at all, that's what I feel might be happening this weekend. So the person that you're dealing with, they may be very intense, and you have to be careful and just keep your boundaries away from that person, and don't push up on them. Allow them to do what they need to do and deal with what they need to deal with. And keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual types and expectations. Soulmates are not connections that are automatically meant to be, but they can bring out the better versions of ourselves. And sometimes we can have a healthy love relationship, which could be soulmate material. But it will take both of you expressing yourself, being able to communicate, being able to understand one another, and being able to make that gesture. So it says go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So if you feel you have the opportunity to do that, for some of you, go ahead and do it. If you feel like you already done that, step back, allow that other person to do so. If that does not happen, then you know where you stand, and that's where you need to focus on self and trust in good things coming toward you karmically, because you've dealt with things in the right way. And that's what's been the theme for a lot of people, I feel. Learning how to deal with situations and people in different ways, so that you're not stuck in cycles that are not going to help you in the long term to manifest a healthy love relationship that's beneficial for both. All right. So that is going to be your reading for the week, and I hope the messages did help out in some way. You can always go to the description of the video if you would like a private reading, to email me and to see the options that I have for love. All right. Much love and much light.